Michelle Malkin probably remembers Steve Martin. He's a wild and crazy guy.
No?
Yeah, sure do.
Yeah. Good memory, sounds like.
You know, we remember once upon a time you wrote a book called Invasion, talking about immigration problems in this country and the invasion across our sovereign borders, such as it is.
But we solved that problem.
Yeah, we're so much better.
Yeah, right.
In fact, Exhibit A, just to show how great a job we're doing on the borders, yesterday, while half of the Gang of 8 is standing at the border, right there, including Schumer and McCain, a woman climbed over an 18-foot fence only to be arrested by the Border Patrol.
Yeah, gasp. We followed this entire episode, which unfolded on John McCain's Twitter account at Twitchy, and I have to say that there were a lot of aggravated and bemused observers of John McCain. The question came up when one of my editors put it this way: did John McCain give her a boost up? Because, of course, he is now leading the charge for exactly the kind of, I don't care what you call it, regularization, comprehensive immigration reform. It walks, it talks, and it squawks like another massive illegal alien amnesty, and all it's going to result in is more of the kind of activity that they tweeted about yesterday at the border, more illegal immigration. That has been the logical result of these kinds of massive waivers and passes for the people who crossed the border illegally or overstayed their visas illegally or evaded deportation illegally.
But at the same time, you have what many deem to be a Tea Party Republican, Marco Rubio, senator down in Florida, who's also in favor of at least some type of illegal immigration reform.
Pathway to citizenship.
Would you also be against that?
Well, I think that, I mean, I should probably just reissue Invasion. I mean, a lot of the rhetoric that Marco Rubio and others use now comes straight from my book. I mean, they will admit to you that we have had de facto illegal alien amnesty for the last 30, 40 years, and then they will turn around and see no reason to connect the dots between the behavior of Congress and the White House, whether it's under a Republican or a Democratic administration, looking the other way at all of the systemic failures and failing to fix those on their own. Why is it that all of these people now pay lip service? Well, we've got to quote-unquote fix border security first, and then we can get to all of the political pandering that we all agree we need to rescue the Republican Party. I mean, that's what's at heart here, whether it's John McCain or Marco Rubio, whoever's posing as a Tea Party spokesman now, and even John McCain, of course, during the campaign pretended that he understood the concerns of grassroots conservatives. If you really believe in border security and are telling people that you don't want to talk about amnesty until the border is secure, why don't you shut up about illegal amnesty and make sure that the border is secure?
And that's the key. You know, so many want it secure. But here's the problem. Because of the sequester, Janet Napolitano is now, what they're going to do is, you know, everybody had a 10-hour shift.
Plus overtime.
Well, now they're going to cut it back to 8 hours, so there will be no overtime. So at least 2 hours per shift, the American border is going to be open for business.
Yeah, it's a crock. And I have to tell you that over the years, over the 20-plus years that I have covered this issue and interviewed and been in touch with Border Patrol sources, people who work in detention and removal, who worked in the former INS and now at DHS, will tell you is that the sequester is the least of their problems. When you have White House personnel, again, whether it's a D or an R by their name, undermining their own ability to enforce the laws that are already on the books. You know what? There are so many people out there who are sick of hearing about, quote-unquote, creating a new pathway to citizenship. We already have many of those pathways, and the problem is that people do not want to get in line and follow them. We don't need a new law to secure the border. We already have a constitution that requires the federal government to protect the states.
So what's your
against
recommendation?
Invasion.
If you were a member of Congress, what would be your recommendation about what we should do with the issue now? Wait till a Republican is president and Congress ostensibly is Republican, House and Senate, for that to happen?
I would recommend that they read the last chapter of Invasion, which talks about all of the specific immigration enforcement mechanisms that are still failing us after 9/11. These people talk about how we need an exit entry tracking system, and it became clear after 9/11 that that simple measure would have spared so many people so much misery. We still don't have one after 30 years. Why do we need to tie doing that job and that duty, which is a basic constitutionally mandated duty, why does that need to be tied to an illegal alien amnesty? People always say, well, what are we going to do? What are we going to do about the 11 million people who are here illegally? And my question is, well, what are we going to do about all the people who are already in line and have been waiting, applying legally to get into this country? What about all of the native-born Americans, legal people here who are looking for jobs that are going to be supplanted by 11 million people who will now be treated on equal par with people who followed the law? What about them? What about them?
Well, we'll see if they're factored in. The AFL-CIO, the Chamber of Commerce are talking about the workforce, how it's going to be affected, and see if that's factored in. See, if they're working here already and just not paying taxes, they're going to have to step up if the border secure and this legislation moves forward and sign in and get a number, get a tax ID number, and pay into the system.
Sure. So that's something where, the president wants something on his desk shortly. We'll see what happens. Meanwhile, something else we have to talk to you about is one of the draft applications for Obamacare it's gigantic. It's going to take all month to fill it out. But on
60 pages.
Yeah, on page 59, it says, would you like to register to vote? Which is great because you think, okay, if I want Obamacare, I'm going to have to register to vote, right?
Yeah, that's right. My guest blogger, Doug Powers at MichelleMalkin.com, was very cheeky about this and said that the new motto now is the new Hippocratic Oath is no longer first do no harm. It's first get them registered to vote. And it'll be very interesting to see in that draft that it has a link to be determined to be included on where to register to vote. And I think, it just shows that we all knew that it was transparent that Obamacare was just another vehicle to recruit the next generation of Democrats. Now that has been confirmed.
Is that even legal, though, for them to put it? Don't we pass laws for motor voter registration and things like that? Is that legal for them to put it in there?
Oh, it sounds like a potential lawsuit, or certainly a question that should be raised by some public interest law firm.
Hey, if Puxaconnie Phil can get sued for not having spring starter on time, why not sue them for putting this voting thing in there?
Has he registered to vote yet?
We're not sure.
Several times.
He's meeting with his legal team.
All right, Michelle Malkin, we love your passion. That's why we have you join us every Thursday at this time. Have a great holiday weekend. We'll see you back here next week.
And good job with the snow against Costa Rica in Denver. That was incredible.
I know. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you,
Michelle.
Meanwhile, coming up straight ahead on this show, want to know what's wrong with our schools? Listen to